happy that you're here. Happy Mother's Day to those of you in the room who are celebrating today. And I also want to acknowledge that Mother's Day is not always happy. You know, we say Happy Mother's Day, but for many of us, it's not happy. We're thinking about moms that we didn't like very much. We're thinking about, the ways we've longed to be a mom and haven't, or maybe there's moms in the room thinking of babies they never got to hold. So we know it carries a lot. I have spent Mother's Day feeling some of those things, and so I just want you to know that I see you. You're not alone today. But I also know there's so many amazing moms in this church, in this community. So some of them, I have moms that aren't even my mom. You know what I mean? We had a lot of moms around here. So we love you. We're celebrating you. But we do always kind of like to take Mother's Day as an opportunity to just love and appreciate the women in our lives, the people who have made an impact on us, the people who have made us who we are today. So that's why we're celebrating all of you women. We even, on your way out today, have a little gift for all the ladies today. But the message is really about the people who shape us. That's what it's called, the people who shape us. And hopefully today, through this message, some people will come to mind for you who have made an impact on your life. Maybe they're women, maybe they're not, but we're going to take today to think through some of these people who have shaped us. Because the truth is that we have all been shaped by the people around us. When we tell the stories of our life, they include people, right? You can't tell the story of your life without including the people who have been part of it, who helped shape you. Your experiences with people, the events of your life include people. It's just part of being human. It's part of life. Some of those people you know them personally. Others, you don't know them at all, but they shaped you. An example would be your great-great-great-grandma. Okay? I mean, you don't know her, right? You never met her. But she certainly shaped you. You wouldn't be here without her, but you never even met her. My husband, I'll give you another example. He was shaped by people he's never met. If you know him at all, you'd know that his sense of humor, his business sense, just his whole self was shaped by this group of people he never met who worked together in an office in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Here they are. All right, if you are an Office fan, you know he's been shaped by these people. Yeah, he's never met these people, but he spent a lot of time with them. If you're an Office fan, you might even notice he'll put Office lines into his messages. And honestly, sometimes when I'm talking to him, I don't know if he's just saying something or if he's quoting The Office. And it can be very frustrating. He'll look at me like, what? It's The Office. I'm like, okay. I looked this up, and in order to watch all 9 seasons? It takes 76 hours. So he's done that a dozen times, all right? So that's a lot of exposure to those people. And I think we are often shaped by the people we spend the most time with. Here's a group of people who have shaped me. Here they are. I was hoping for that. We're cute, aren't we? Look at this, 90s, The 90s were a good time. But these people definitely shaped me. You got my dad over here. I think of some ways he shaped me into a Yankee fan, Yep. What else? An animal lover. My dad loves animals. We always just searched for them, like turtles in the yard and stuff. Until the deer came into the yard, all of a sudden, not an animal lover. But that's okay. He's a hard worker. He's probably the reason I'm a little goofy, right? And then, of course, I was very much shaped by these 3 characters on the side here, my brothers. I mean, I was the youngest girl, okay, and a family with all boys. That had to do some damage, all right? I learned some things like how to do the walls of Jericho and the people's elbow, all right? Never will forget those moves. I learned about how to tell lies, all right? How to have a house party and get away with it. What else? How to give the middle finger. I mean, anything. We learn this from the people who shape us. But I learned other things too, like how to be very, very patient. Okay, you can thank my brothers for that one. Very patient person. But of course, for better or worse, we are shaped by the people in our lives. And most of all for me, of course, that lady in the back, my mother. She's also in the back here, won the gift card. Yeah, she's going to take me to Starbucks later, I heard. But I was very much shaped by my mom. Here's her and I. You can see I was shaped by her by this next photo. My sense of fashion, shaped by my mother. I have no clue why we were dressed alike, but I don't look like I like it. But some things that she instilled in me that shaped me. I love to read. My mother, she loves to read. Love to help people, care for people. I became a teacher largely because of my mom. She brought me to school with her. She showed me what that was like, and I wanted to be just like that myself. So if you know my mom, she's a great listener. She's intelligent. I like to think maybe I got a little bit of that. But there's some things she wanted to shape me into, and it didn't quite work, like being tidy, organized. She did her best, but I went the opposite direction. That's fine. But we're shaped by all sorts of people that we come in contact with. It doesn't just have to be family. Isn't that true? It doesn't just have to be our family. We are shaped by everyone that we encounter. Every meaningful experience we have with other people shapes us. An example of a person who really shaped me, that was not related to me at all, was my teacher named Miss Lau, and I could not find a photo, so insert photo of Miss Lau here. I was like Facebook stalking a little, and I'm like, no, this crosses a line. We're not going to do that, so here it is. But Miss Lau was my history teacher. I had her, I think, in like 7th grade maybe, and then I had her again in 9th grade, and I loved her class. I loved it. I loved being there. I really feel another big reason I became a high school history teacher was because of Miss Lau. I remember the things I learned in her class. They had nothing to do with history. But there was one activity that we did where I don't know what this has to do with history, but here it is. We all had a piece of paper. We wrote our name on it, and then we passed those papers around the room. So everyone in the classroom had to write down something that you saw and loved and wanted to encourage in the other people in your class. I remember doing that and thinking of course, I kept that thing for a really long time. I tried to find it. I had this piece of paper, my peers, all these nice things that they wrote about me. When does that happen? When are teenagers nice to each other? But we learned that from Miss Lau. She shaped me. That experience shaped me. It made me a person who doesn't just see the people around me, but who actually notices things about them and encourages those things in them. I'm so thankful for her showing me that. And even more so, I remember she was the kind of person, the kind of teacher who would open up their classroom before school so you could just go and kind of hang out there till the bell rang. Do you know those kinds of teachers? Did you have those? If you didn't have those, you were probably a troublemaker, You were doing who knows what before the bell rang. But I'd go to Miss Lau's room. Even beyond when she was my teacher, I'd go there and hang out. And I remember there was a kid in that room, and he was somebody who had been really treated badly in elementary school and middle school, but he was there in Miss Lau's room before school with me. And I remember seeing the way that she cared for him, took an interest in him, and loved him. And that taught me to do the same. He became a good friend of mine in high school, really because of those moments in Miss Lau's room. Just her being herself, opening up her room and modeling, demonstrating what it looked like to love people. It shaped me. Now, as I'm telling these stories, maybe some people are coming to mind for you. Some people who did something. There was an experience, there was some kind of interaction that shaped something. It has to be. We have to all have these people because the truth of being human is that we are all shaped by other people. We are shaped by the people around us. It's just part of being human. For better or for worse, we are shaped by the people around us. Can you think of someone? Maybe it's someone who shaped you positively. You think about who you are today and the best parts about you came from an interaction with somebody else. Or maybe it's negatively. Maybe you've been spending years trying to undo the damage done by someone around you. But for as long as we've been alive, people have been depositing little things into our life. As we've grown, we've been in school, we've had jobs, they've been placing things into our life. And we carry those things with us. We carry the things that others have put into our life. Every meaningful interaction is really just the things, we end up taking these things, carrying these things after those. So let's do a little illustration, a little example. Let's say this bag here is life, all right? Your life, my life. When we have an interaction with somebody, There are things from that interaction that get deposited, placed in our life, whether we like it or not. It might be a passing comment that's made to us that sticks with us the rest of our lives. I remember passing comments made to me on the bus going to school when I was in elementary school that have stuck with me my whole life. Or it could be ongoing experiences with people who love us and care for us. Some examples, if you had a mom who always had time for you, no matter what it was, she had time for you. She listened to your drama, listened to your, gossip, whatever you had. She was there, she sat down, she stopped what she was doing. Those interactions put patience into your life that you now carry with you as you interact with your own kids. This bag is with us as we go interact with the world around us. Maybe like me, you had a teacher who just believed in you. They saw the best in you. They wanted to bring that out. Even when you didn't see it yourself, they put confidence into your life by believing in you. And you took that confidence into your job interviews. You landed your dream job because you had confidence that was put there by somebody else. Maybe you had a friend who, you hurt them time and time again, but they were always coming back to you like a lost puppy. They just loved you. But what they did is they put loyalty into your life. You learned how to forgive, how to stick by people because of those friendships where people just stuck with you. Or maybe you had a youth pastor or somebody in your life who put faith there. Now you're seeing the fruits of that now. You still have that faith in your life. Maybe love, interactions where you truly felt love, learned how to love others. Or, like The Office did for Mike, a sense of humor. We learn that from the people around us, from our experiences. These things are all put there through our relationships, through our interactions. We are carrying things with us that we didn't necessarily put there, that have been put on us. Which means, if you turn that around, people are carrying the things that you put into their lives as well. People are carrying what you have put into their lives. When I meet people, I am not just meeting them. I'm meeting the person who put those things into them. This is a big responsibility. That means that in each interaction, in each experience, we are shaping the people around us. We're shaping our children. We're shaping our spouses. We wish sometimes more. But you're shaping your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your coworkers, your students if you're a teacher. You're shaping your friends, your neighbors, all of them. These are people we interact with regularly, and we are shaping them. And there's examples of this in Scripture as well. We see these things play out in Scripture. Obviously, you can think of examples like Jesus and his disciples. You can look at how through their interactions with Jesus, they became more like him. Jesus shaped them. But even more so, maybe Jesus might be a hard relate for us, like Son of God. But another person who did this, and did this really well, was a man named Paul. Paul wrote letters to the early churches. Really, he was writing to the leaders of those churches, helping shape them and mold them into looking the way that Jesus would want them to, to the leaders of the church to look. He knew kind of what direction Jesus wanted the church to move in, and he was shaping those churches to look that way. And one of the people that he wrote to was considered kind of like his protege, somebody young and influential that he saw something in. Paul saw something in this young man and decided to invest in it, decided to shape him to be a leader. So this example we're going to talk about today is between Timothy and Paul. Timothy is this young leader. When Paul begins writing to him, he's probably late teens, early 20s. He wrote to him through his 30s, 40s maybe. Theologians aren't exactly sure the time frame, but we know the relationship began late teens, early 20s. He would have been writing, encouraging him, trying to build up this young man to be someone who could lead the church. Timothy was thought of as Paul's right-hand man. He mostly worked in the church in Ephesus, so the Ephesians, he would deal with them. But Timothy also traveled all around with Paul, kind of just following him, helping him, assisting him, shaping him. Now, here we're going to look at some of the things that Paul wrote in his letters. Just kind of, again, I hope it would inspire us, encourage us of the ways that we can shape the people in our lives. Here's what he says. Paul, again, he's writing to Timothy. He says, Timothy, I thank God for you. Isn't that great? When's the last time somebody thanked God for you? Isn't that a nice thing to hear? Night and day, I constantly remember you in my prayers. What a beautiful, encouraging thing for a young person to hear said to them by their mentor. I thank God for you. Day and night, I remember you. I think that Paul knew the power of his words. He knew that he had power to encourage this young man. Isn't this an encouraging thing to hear? He was depositing thankfulness, love, faith. He goes on to say, I long to see you again, for I remember your tears as we parted, like showing him that he's valued, he matters. And I will be filled with joy when we are together again. Isn't that beautiful? A beautiful thing to hear from your mentor, from this person who really loves you. Think about like your greatest influence, okay? Because that was like Paul in Timothy's life. Think about your greatest influence. Maybe it's like a celebrity. Maybe it's a sports icon. Maybe it's even just a family member. What would it feel like to get a letter from them where they spoke of you this way? They loved you. They thanked God for you. They couldn't wait to be with you. That's shaping. That really feels good. Now, I'm sure at this point you're asking, what does this bromance have to do with Mother's Day? Okay, this is like getting a little weird. You know, the bromance is strong, and it's true. They were great companions. But what Paul says next, I think, could really be inspiring and encouraging to us. Here's what he says, especially the women, the moms in the room. Let this encourage you. Paul says, I remember your genuine faith, for you share the faith that first filled your grandmother, Lois, and your mother, Eunice. And I know that that same faith continues strong in you. What a legacy. Isn't that beautiful? Again, Paul is like a celebrity person, and he's writing to Timothy and gives mom a shout out. Isn't that great? Moms in the room, isn't that kind of what you want? You know, to be like, people to look at your kids and be like, yeah, you're great, and it's because of your mom. Like, that is so encouraging. It's so inspiring to us. And, you know, if your kids come to church here, you know, and I go to the kids' classrooms, and I walk in there, and I think, wow, these are some interesting kids, you know. We got some interesting kids. You have your work cut out for you, you know. Like, it's not your fault. They are who they are. But you have some work to do. They need to be shaped. Every child does, you know. Every child has to be shaped. And what I love about this is the fact that, like, Paul's not saying, wow, Timothy, you have great manners. It's all because of your mom and your grandma. Or, you know, you have a really good fashion sense. It's because of your mom and your grandma. And what else do we try to pass on? You have great financial skills. You really manage a budget. Your mom did a good job. Or like, you're really awesome. You're potty trained. Way to go, mom. Like, you know, all these things matter, and of course we want to pass those on to our children. But what I love here is the emphasis on faith, the faithfulness passed on from a mother. Really started from a grandmother to a mother to a child. Isn't that beautiful? Maybe that's not your story. Maybe your faith wasn't passed on to you from your mother, your grandmother. But who are you passing your faith on to? Who are you shaping and molding? Because when your children get older and people look at your kids, they're going to see you. So how are you shaping them? What do you want to be remembered for? Now, you might be like, okay, well, I'm not a mom, I'm not a grandma, but don't forget who's writing this. His mentor, Paul. Paul is writing this. He's also part of this shaping of Timothy. Because Timothy, like all of us, Timothy was shaped by consistent influences. He didn't just wake up one day a leader. He was shaped by his mom, his grandma, Paul, I'm sure plenty of other people we don't know about. But the collaborative input, the collaborative influences, which is why all of us, mothers or not, are so important to the future of this world, of this community, of this church. because we have the opportunity to shape people, to influence them. And people aren't influenced by like a one-time, way to go, like one-time pat on the back. People are shaped by consistent impact, not just occasional impact. And this is good news, because some of us have had maybe, parents, maybe you've had one really bad moment with your kid. But the good news is, it's what you do consistently that shapes your kid, not just what you do occasionally. It's what you do consistently that's going to make an impact, not just the occasional thing. That's good and that's bad. You want to know how your children are being shaped, how the people around you are being shaped, how your employees are being shaped, how your coworkers are being shaped, your neighbors. Just think about what you do consistently. If you could think about that, then you know exactly how you're shaping them, because it's what you do consistently that shapes them. Influence of people happens in the everyday moments. What we do and what we demonstrate on a consistent basis, that's what makes an impact. That's what influences people. That's why Lois and Eunice are mentioned in the Bible. Like, that's a pretty big deal that we're here talking about these two ladies 2,000 years later just because they were consistent. They've positively impacted someone in their life. That could be you. You could be remembered generations later just simply because of your consistency. You don't have to have a platform or a microphone or, some big, million followers on Instagram. It's just the everyday moments. That is what shapes people, which means that you are shaping someone right now. Right now. Someone is learning how to live life by watching you. You're teaching them. You're teaching them if they could trust people. You're teaching them if they are accepted and loved. They're learning that just in their interactions with you. And this is not just kids. I know, like, when we think about, like, shaping people, we think of, like, children, moldable. I know that's how I think. Like, this whole message, like, I think about it as kids, but it's not just children. Adults, right? We're adults, aren't we? I mean, I'm almost there. But we've been shaped. We're still being shaped by the people in our lives, aren't we? Right? It's not just kids. If you think, like, no, I'll get to a point one day and I won't be influenced by anybody, you're wrong. What is that point then? What is it, 20, 30, 40? Like, how old do you have to be to not be moldable anymore? In my experience, the older I get, the more I realize I don't know anything. And I'm just looking for people to tell me how to be and what to do. We are, if anything, more moldable the older we get, right? Teenage years, try molding me then, Mom. Didn't work, all right? The older we get, the more pliable, more moldable we are. And so, if you could think about this in your life, you thought you had it all together. You had kids. Your kids shaped you. Other experiences might shape us. Going through a difficult divorce or breakup. Our marriages have shaped us. We shape them. You are shaping someone right now. And the truth is, you're shaping someone right now for better or for worse. For better or for worse. Now, I would love to stand up here and say that I only influence and shape people for better. But I would be lying to you, okay? It's not true. I can admit to you that I have spent a lot of my life shaping people for the negative, for the bad. It might be just passing comments. Things that I've put into people's life, like anger. I have a way to make people angry, okay? I've been angry with someone, and now they take that into their relationships. Hatred. There's times where I've said unkind things to people and passed on hatred into their life. Distrust. I haven't been trustworthy my whole life. So now someone is walking around unable to trust people because of an interaction they had with me. Self-doubt. You ever said anything to someone that makes them question whether they're, who they think they were? We've all done this. For me, if I'm having a bad day, if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, I don't know. You just never know what I'm going to do or what I'm going to say. And we're all like that. Okay? Please don't make it just me. We're all like this. We deposit things into people's life that we didn't intend to do. Oftentimes it's completely unintentional. Sometimes we mean to. But a lot of times it's just a passing comment. It's something that sticks with a person. We carry this weight. And you might think like, no, the passing comment doesn't matter. Like something I do once, it doesn't matter. It's what we do consistently. Yeah, the good you do consistently makes an impression. But did you know that research shows that it takes 5 positive interactions to compensate for 1 negative one? 5 positives to 1 negative. That's a big deal. That means that each interaction matters. Because if a child walks away from an interaction with you and feels like they are unloved, it's going to take 5 more experiences of love to undo that 1 negative. That's problematic, isn't it? If somebody has an interaction with you where they walk away feeling rejected, unaccepted, it's going to take 5 positive experiences of feeling accepted, acknowledged, cared for, to undo that 1 bad one. That's a big deal. And if you're a Jesus follower in the room, this is a big deal for us. Because as Jesus followers, right, people who want to like make a difference in the world, who want to, help people to know and follow Jesus, this is a big deal. Because this means we have work to do. We have a lot of work to do. If it takes 5 positives to undo 1 negative, we've got work to do to reshape the people around us, to help them to see the world the way that Jesus intended them to, for them to see that they are loved by God. It's going to take a lot of work from us because they've been walking through life only hearing they're unloved. We've got a lot of work to do. Now, I have good news for you, though, because if you're thinking like, wait, I have nothing to offer. Like, I might be following Jesus, but what do I have that could really shape a person or help a person? Well, I disagree with you. I think you have something that you have to offer. And it's not just me. Paul would say that you have something to offer the world. You have something inside you that can help a hurting world around you, that could shape the people you interact with. Here is what Paul says. But the Holy Spirit, that's the Spirit of God that lives in you, it produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the things. If you have the Spirit of God in you, you have this to offer the people you interact with, the people you encounter. These are the things that you could be putting into somebody's life, for them to carry through. Isn't that an amazing thought? Let's read these things together because I want you to know you have them. Are you ready? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. That's what you've got to offer. That's great news. It's great news, CJ. He's got the extra dose of the love back there and the joy. Now, if you're not a Jesus follower in the room, you're here because mama said you had to be today. Whatever it is. Look, I just want you to know, I acknowledge that many people have decided they don't want to follow Jesus because a Jesus follower in their life did not pass these things along. Many people have walked away from faith, have walked away from church because they had an interaction with a Christian and it put things in their life like chaos and hate and sadness, impatience, unkindness. I've been there. And I'll be the first to apologize to you if that's been your experience. I acknowledge that. I see that. I apologize for that. And my hope for you is that local church would be a church that begins to put new things into your life. It begins to give you new things to carry, like these things: love and joy and peace and patience. My hope is as you experience local church that these things would happen for you. You'd have new things in that bag. But for the rest of you, I can't do that alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it comes down to all of us who call ourselves followers of Jesus to walk through life putting these things into the world. Not hatred and chaos. These things that bring life to people. We as followers of Jesus, need to intentionally try to pass these things along to the people we interact with. It doesn't happen by accident. All right, the natural instinct is not this, but it's when we live from that Spirit of God in us that we can begin to do this. Imagine if we'd all lived that out, you know? Imagine the kinds of kids that would grow up in this church if we all lived this out. Imagine how marriages could change. You know, think about your marriage. If you decided from this day forward, I'm bringing this stuff into my marriage, not criticism, not put downs and anger. I'm going to bring this stuff. I'm going to bring patience and self-control. How would your marriage change if that's what you brought? You know, what about your workplace? You have a place, your workplace that's really toxic? What if you decided, you know what? I'm not going to match evil for evil. I'm going to bring this stuff into my workplace. Maybe you'd actually enjoy going to work. You can do this. You can live this out in all the places that you go. You could start now. Imagine if this week, in every interaction this week, we chose to put something life-giving into someone else's life. Imagine what could happen. Your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors. Instead of adding weight for them to carry, you added hope. You added encouragement. You added peace. I think this could change so much more than just a moment of time. I believe this could change a family. It could change a community. It has changed the world. This is what the early church did. After the resurrection of Jesus, this is what they did. They went out spreading good news, joy, peace, hope. That's what changed the world 2,000 years ago. Split the timeline. I believe we could do that again, right here in our community, right here in this church. So to make this super practical for you as we're wrapping up, I have 2 things I would like to challenge every single one of us to do. Here's the first one. I want us to look back with gratitude. Look back with gratitude. Think, who is your Miss Lau that you need to write a little letter to? Maybe it's your mom, you know. Today's a great day to appreciate a mom. If you've got one that you love and want to appreciate, we're making that as easy as possible for you today because we actually went out and bought a ton of Mother's Day cards, all right? So if you are seeing your mom today and you want to encourage her and give her, there's no excuse now, especially if you came with your mom. She knows you're hearing this, so she's going to want a card, all right? But we've got cards out there. We want you to take one to write an encouraging thing to your mother. Tell her of how she shaped you. Express gratitude. If it's not your mom, that's okay. You know, not all of us have our moms. Maybe there's somebody else. We have thank you cards out there too. You can grab one, write a little note, encourage someone. If you're not a write it down person, send a text, give a call. You know, post on social media, do something today. Start today, but don't stop today, all right? Keep going. Keep on looking back with gratitude for the people who have shaped you. The second thing is to look forward with intention. Look around at the people around you. Practice like what Miss Lau taught me. So when there's people around, don't just see them, like really see them. Look and see what you could encourage in them. Look for areas where maybe they're feeling down or low, or you could build them up. You've got people around you, right? And it doesn't take much to leave an impression, to make a mark, to shape them. But do it intentionally. Look around the people around you and decide today, I'm going to start shaping them. I want to be like Lois. I want to be like Eunice. I want to be remembered for what I did, the impact I had on somebody's life. If you still feel like this is impossible, okay, if you're still thinking like, I don't know, I don't have it in me. I'm not ready. I'm no good. That's okay. But I want to encourage you. I think you are capable. You have everything you need to make a positive difference in the world. And Jesus believed that too. This one last encouragement from Jesus himself. He again, believed that each and every one of us were capable of changing the world for good. That's why we are his plan A for reaching the world. You know, like Jesus could have stayed here himself for 2,000 years, but instead he sent us to bring love, to bring peace, to bring joy into the world. And here's what he said. This is his encouragement. It's my final encouragement to you today. He said, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Let your light shine. You can do this. You can do this. God put within you a little bit of himself to shine out to the world around you, to change it for the good. Now, I'm really proud to be part of a church. I think you guys do this so well. I really do. I see the way you love one another. I see the way you love this community. You're doing an amazing job, and I can't even imagine. I'm so hopeful for what God has planned as we continue doing this and living this out. All right, let's pray. Well, God, I just thank you so much for all of the ways that you have shaped us. I know we've talked about our families and people around us, but you, God, have shaped us to be carriers of your light into the world around us. I want right now just thank you for every mother in this room. I pray that she would get to celebrate the way like Lois and Eunice did, where they could be praised and celebrated for what they've passed on to their child. And for those of us who might be hurting today, who maybe it's not as easy and as happy to celebrate today, I pray that you would encourage them, that they can be like a Paul to somebody. You know, Timothy wasn't Paul's child, yet Paul was able to shape him and pass on so many amazing attributes. So I just pray that you would give us eyes to see the people who we need to look back and have gratitude for, and you'd help us to look at the people around us with intention and really consider how we might shape them to be more like you, to be loving, joy-filled, to be patient, to be kind. I just pray you'd speak to each of us in these next few moments, and you would help us to do what it is you have for us. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Well, hey, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with us. And before you go, I would love for you to consider engaging with local church in 3 additional ways. The first is to fill out a Connect card. No matter where you are in the world, we would love for you to do this. It'll only take you about 30 seconds, and it's just an easy way for us to get to know you a bit more and to serve you better, and for you to get to know us a little better as well. Just click the link in the description to get started. The second way that you can engage with local church is by visiting us in person. If you're local and you don't regularly participate in a church community, we would love to invite you to join us every Sunday. Resources like this can do a lot for our faith personally, but Jesus teaches that God does something unique for our faith when we choose to gather corporately. Click the link in the description to plan your visit. And finally, if you've been positively impacted by local church in any way, would you consider making a tax-deductible donation? Content like this, along with everything that goes on around here, is only made possible by the generosity of people just like you. You can click the link in the description or visit localchurchli.com/give. So, once again, thank you so much. We hope that you found this content helpful and inspiring, and we're so honored to be a part of your faith journey.